My name is Aaron. I'm based in New York. When I was just a kid, probably about 8 or 10 years old, I started to experience really debilitating intrusive thoughts. Thoughts that really made me question my character and who I was. These are really taboo thoughts in nature, things like violence against people you love, murder, homicide, self-harm, suicide, rape, pedophilia, really horrific things. And because these thoughts feel so against your values, you try to push them away, and then they come back stronger and stronger. And so pretty much my entire life I lived with like kind of two parallel universes. One is the room I'm standing in, the other one is watching a movie, a horror film where things are constantly happening and jumping out at me. And it's actually a disorder called Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder that is really misbranded in the media and our understanding of it. Onset is pretty young, and because it takes an average of 12 plus years for someone to actually seek help or get a diagnosis, comorbid depression, suicidal ideation, you're more likely to self-harm, to have substance abuse issues. So I've kind of experienced the gamut of these things, and how these thoughts like morph and change and create new horrific manifestations of themselves. Sometimes thousands of times a day. That's not an exaggeration. So fast forward to when I was in my 20s, I've always just kind of be in DIY, entrepreneur, play music, start agencies. I was really starting to experience the effects of this in the work environment, and it didn't matter whether I was, presenting to an executive group or I was presenting on a panel or whatever. It's very hard to focus when you imagine, slicing someone up with razor blades and, eating their flesh in front of the room, right? So like these horrific things. So I had to find a way to kind of use humor and make fun of it. But the point is, I'm standing here in front of you as a privileged white male from a middle-class, healthy family with loving parents in the healthcare system, and I had no idea for over 20 years of my life that I had a pretty severe mental condition. And so I think that's just really sad when you look at the way that the industry has fundamentally failed. The nonprofit organizations, governments, institutions, corporations have all fundamentally failed. And not just failed, people of privilege, but truly failed anyone who can't access $200 an hour therapy or care, or aren't in a culture in which even accepts mental health as a conversation. So there's a lot of work to do. And as someone who owns a creative agency in New York and gets to work with amazing brands, what I spot as the main, kind of the main thing that's missing is branding, design, communication, copywriting, demedicalization of content, making it accessible, reaching the youth. So my goal is to reach that 13-year-old version of myself who was sitting there wondering if I was a pedophile and I was going to kill my family, versus just playing in the yard with friends. And so that's my entire drive, and trying to take that rage and harness that into something positive is what I've been doing. So we launched the Made of Millions Foundation because what I've seen is that all the change is happening from people in this room. It's not coming from the institutions and the corporations. It's coming from people here who've been affected by mental health on a first-hand basis, friends, family, or personally. It's what Mindshare Partners is. That's Made of Millions. It's the change that we want to see is going to be made by the millions of people affected by mental illness. So we are DIY. We are anti-establishment. We are absolutely trying to kind of shift the paradigm in the way that it works. We're bringing art and advocacy and technology into the same place. We've launched mental health art exhibitions in New York and in London. One of our co-founders had a TV show called Pure come out in the UK about her life with OCD. We are basically creating what we're considering social good in the snowball effect, which is like you start by writing an article, that leads to something else, that leads to something else, to people coming around this room. I mean, I think this is a really special moment because this conversation will be infinitely larger next year and the year afterwards. So the fact that we're all here, like we are the people that will make the change. And in context of workplace, to just kind of, wrap it up, this month we're launching a campaign called Dear Manager, which launches today. And basically we're just crowdsourcing real messages from real people. And Dear Manager, group meetings can be a trigger for my social anxiety. It kills my energy and focus. Can we find a time to chat, ask for more? So we've set up dearmanager.com. We've built a workplace mental health guide for corporations to utilize called Beautiful Brains, bringing modern design and illustration and a simplified tone of voice, actionable information into a guide. So in short, we're looking for ways to just expand the message, get it going. We think workplace is a really tangible place to start. And as people, conversation we were just having, were saying, like, there are no people better or more able or capable to make change than people in advertising, in media, in professional services, in creativity, in tech. Like, we are that group that can distill this message down into a relatable way and distribute it out at mass. And so anyone who has an interest in getting involved in that, come talk to me, because we'd love to figure out how to keep scaling this message and keep making an impact. So thank you.